Welcome to Mindset Mastery Moments, the best growth mindset podcast recognized by Million Podcasts and ranked as a top mindset podcast by FeedSpot. We're proud to be in the top 1% on Listen Notes. Join Dr. Alisa Whyte as we explore powerful insights and strategies to elevate your mindset. Let's dive in.
Hello, disruptors, and welcome back to Mindset Mastery Moments. Of course, I am your host, Dr. Alisa Whyte, and I'm excited to welcome you to an extraordinary episode. We have an amazing guest in studio, and I can't wait for you to meet her. But let me start today's conversation with a fact that might surprise you. In 1974, 51 years ago, women in the USA could not get a credit card in their own name without a husband or a male cosigner. Could you believe that? Today, women are the primary breadwinners in 40% of American households, yet we still face gender wealth gap. Yes, I said only 40% of the households in America are led by women. Yet we're still dealing with the gender wealth gap. Women earn about 82% on the dollar compared to men. And Black and Latino women earn even less. What does that mean? It means that while we've made progress, there's still a lot to go in the area of mindset mastery, in the system that tells women to settle, play small, and carry the weight of everyone else's needs while putting our own financial dreams for last. But here's the truth. You cannot rewrite your financial future without first rewriting your financial beliefs. That's why today I am thrilled to welcome a powerhouse voice who's disrupting those very narratives. My guest today is the Nicole Johnson, a financial strategist, best-selling author, transformational speaker, and the passionate founder of Wealthy Women Lifestyle. Nicole knows firsthand what it feels like to chase success, only to realize that true wealth, peace, purpose, and prosperity can't be found in titles or paychecks alone. She has dedicated her life to helping women, especially women of color and single mothers, break free from generational cycles of struggle and step boldly into financial independence and legacy building. Her signature teaching embeds financial empowerment with deep mindset transformation because she believes you can't build lasting wealth with a survival mindset. Alongside her leadership at Wealthy Women Lifestyle, Cole also served as the USA Country Director of Mindset Mastery 360, a global organization committed to creating economic equality through mindset evolution, which I get to be a cohort with her in that beautiful vision that we have, and we're building slowly but surely. As you know, our ambassadors and leaders are also kicking butt in the mindset area. Dr. Nicole, the Nicole Johnson, welcome to Mindset Mastery Moments. Welcome home to your other platform. We're so happy to glean from your wisdom and your knowledge. Just go ahead, tell us who you are, what you do, and why you do it in your own words.
Thank you, Dr. Lisa. I am so excited to be here. Listen, all of that information about how far women have come is so right on point. But the bottom
Yes.
line is we still have so much further to go. And my passion stems from my own trials and tribulations. But what I get to do is in turn around and help other women. And it's not as a handout, it is absolutely as a hand up. So
Yeah.
that they don't have to continue, because what I did was I did it alone, and I don't want to go through that same process. So
Yes.
I am the Nicole Johnson. I was born and raised on the west side of the city of Chicago, the greatest city in this nation. Don't hate on it. Don't hate on it. And I grew up in an area in the projects on the west side, and my mom always told me that just because you're from the projects does not mean that when you open your mouth, everybody needs to know that you're from.
No, you're from the projects. I
So
love
that
it. I
I
love it.
think about it is that was working on mindset from the beginning. And as I
Yes.
saw my mother as a single mother, I saw other women struggling as single moms to raise children in a space and place where it wasn't the most conducive to a healthy mental state, financial state. I watched my mom go through financial codependency. Whereas a strong Black woman, when it was just me and her, she was,
Yeah.
she worked and then she fell in love, I guess that's what she called it. And unfortunately, it wasn't a good
La la la.
partnership. La, I'm struggling to say it, but it
Oh
wasn't a
boy.
good partnership because after a while, my mom gave up her job. She became a stay-at-home mom in the project. And the
Mm,
moment somebody can make me understand that, I'm locking us both up. But I could not understand that mindset. Whereas, how
mhm.
are we getting out the ghetto? Not you staying at
Yes.
home. But I
Mm,
watched and grew up in this financial dysfunction because as
mhm.
long as things were good, they were good. But when problems happen, as any relationship would, it would be where you gonna go with your 4 kids. And that was
Mm,
a control factor. So as an adult, recognizing that I didn't have a good foundation with money, I didn't know what a
mm,
budget was. I learned all the
mm.
hard things and the hard lessons based on where I grew up and how I was raised.
Yes.
But for my
Mhm.
own children and my own future, my passion became how do I break that cycle? And so
Mm.
I became determined to do so. And we can get into the how I got there.
Yes, we
But the
will.
passion really is to not see another single mother or another
Mm.
woman of color suffer alone, and I want them to understand that they don't have to stay in situations because they can't afford to leave.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. This is speaking directly to we want everyone who's listening, you're welcome, you're going to learn, but we just want you to know that there is a passion behind Dr. Nicole to really talk to a specific group of people, which a lot of times communities and society, because of the level of strength that the woman, especially women in general, and then especially women of color, that we stand and we no one really knows what it is it takes for us to get up and go and have that smile and what we're figuring out and what we didn't pay and what we didn't pay to make sure those kids went to the school field trip, things like that.
Yes,
So, Nicole, you've said you can't build wealth with a survival mindset, which is,
cannot.
100% true. Why is mindset the very first place women need to start when it comes to their money?
Because we come from a history of
Hmm.
women not being in charge of money. Like you said, it was only until 51 years ago that women could even
Yes.
apply for a credit card, right? But if you
Yes.
go further back, before in World War One, where were the men? They were out
Mm,
fighting. In World War Two,
yes.
where were they? Fighting. So what were women doing? Working. But how you
Providing.
over there fighting and I need your permission to take care of the finances here at home? But
Come on
that
now.
was the mentality. So even though we became the breadwinners for the household because he was not there, he was coming back, of course, but he
Mhm.
wasn't there. We still had the kids still needed to eat. They still needed shoes. They still needed clothes. And
Right.
as with time comes forward, you'll find that there have been stay-at-home moms who've never worked. There have been
Yes, my mom
stay-at-home
was
moms
one.
who left home, got married, and moved to a home with their husbands. They've
Yes.
never had that financial independence. So when we
Mhm.
got to a point where in society we had to step up, we had to step out, we learned money as a trial and error. And for a lot of us, it
Right.
was more error than anything. And
Right.
so Dr. Lisa, a woman could come to me and say, here's my income, here's my paycheck, here are all my bills, fix it.
Mhm.
And I can
Boom.
do a budget, honey. I can run a tape on her. I can get this calculator over here, going, her, doing all of the things. But
Yeah.
if I don't work on her mindset and how she develops
Yes.
her relationship with her money, how she's spending, what she's spending on,
Yes.
she'll be right
Yes.
back to me in 30 days going, what happened? Not
Right.
what happened, what didn't happen. And that
Right.
was you did not change your mindset on how you manage money, how we
Mhm.
manage our temperament,
Mm.
right? That
Mhm.
entitlement spending, the eating
Mhm.
out versus the
Mhm.
budgeting. If
Mhm.
none of that changes, the habits that you have will continue even though the circumstances are the
Mhm.
same. So if you want
Yes.
to change what your results are, you got to change the thought process behind the steps and the actions
Everything.
that you take because otherwise you are spinning a wheel. I'm not getting on that hamster wheel with you.
No,
That's
I
not my
mean,
thing.
it's like you thinking you gonna just start building walls in a putting up walls in a pool.
Right.
You can't
You
do
know
that.
what was the thing for me? I used to, and hate is such a strong word, but I hated when people said, "I built my house from the ground up." As if poor folks put their roof on first.
Who
Everybody
does that?
start from the ground up. You
Mind up. So
so
it don't matter what you say, you have to.
right.
There's no house without from the ground out.
What I like to
And
look at is your foundation. If your foundation
mhm.
is cracked,
Yes.
anything that we put on top of it is going to fall. It's just a matter of
Yes.
when. So let's shape
Exactly.
the foundation. And once we
Right.
shape that foundation, like you said, breaking those barriers, when we
Mhm.
build that foundation solid, it might bend a little bit, but it won't break.
Yes.
And
Right.
even if it breaks, you still go
You
back
know
to where you started
started
because
and
there
fix
is
the holes
magic
in the
in
cracks.
started over.
Absolutely, and we underestimate the privilege, I would say, the the gift of starting over. It
Yes.
really is. It's painful, but just think about it. Your mama did not bring you into this world without pain.
Hello? I've been there twice.
The butterfly does not become a butterfly without going into the cocoon as a caterpillar and pushing through that cocoon. So all of it, just think about it. The pain is there, but there's something beautiful that comes out of it, right? Of giving
Absolutely.
birth, starting over. So, Dr. Nicole, what was one shift you had to make personally to break out of survival mode and step into overflow for yourself?
There were some major ones. I got married young,
Mhm.
and I knew everything. Everything my mom did, I was gonna do the opposite because that was how I was
Yeah.
gonna make it work.
Yeah.
And when we were dating, I took him home to meet my aunt, my favorite aunt, who really helped shape me as a woman.
Yeah.
15 minutes around that man, she said, "That is not the one for you."
How
Auntie,
dare
you
you?
I mean, 15 people, 15 minutes, how you know? She said, "I don't know him, but I know you, and that is not the one for you." But my little hard-headed tail, I'm gonna make him the one, right?
Yeah, we
And
love that,
so
don't we?
yeah, we did. So unequally yoked in so many ways and areas in life. We were
Yeah.
both filled with our own individual traumas, but we were
Yes.
too young to recognize it for what it was. And so
Yes.
as I began to grow, as I
Mhm.
began to shift, I realized that I was trying to drag somebody who was happy in the complacency.
Where they are, yeah. Mhm. Oh my
There's
gosh.
nothing
Woo.
that I could do, but now we've got a daughter, and what I
Mm.
don't wanna see is my daughter in a broken home.
Yeah.
I did not want to see my daughter come up that way, and so
Yeah.
but what I didn't realize was that I could have, and I really did do more damage by staying
Mhm.
because my
Mm.
daughter did learn some very beneficial lessons. She was
Yeah.
never a girl's dad. Like, her dad
Mm.
never was
Mm.
into that with her. She didn't really learn the true love of a father, right?
Mm.
And he
Mhm.
was not mature enough that once she came along, that he shifted, right?
Mm.
So, we parented differently. We did everything differently, but we were still
Mhm.
living as husband and wife. Then here comes our son. Nothing ch For me, motherhood clicked a little bit differently because I got a little boy. Like,
Yes.
the
Oh my
only
god, yeah,
thing
it's a
that
different
clicked
thing.
for him was that, "Oh, my name gonna carry on." I was like, "Bruh, can we go beyond that?"
Right?
But as by the time my son was 3, the
Mhm.
first shift that I had to make was if I continue to stay, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
So now, even though I didn't come in this marriage to be a single mother, this is what I'm in because
Yeah.
he's literally mentally gone and he's not
Mm.
fulfilling his duties as a father. I could take you not
Mhm.
being a husband, but I need
Right.
you to be a father because my focus was
Yes.
my kids. So,
Mhm.
sitting in the kitchen on the floor and just making that final decision that there was no going back. It was time to go.
Mm.
That
Yeah.
was the first shift, and that was the hardest thing to make because I had no idea, Dr. Lisa, how I was gonna do it. How
Right.
was I going to live losing the income of 2 parents down to 1 because I knew he was gonna fight me tooth and nail? How
Yeah.
to make sure my kids get to school, how to love them enough and love them through this.
Mm.
That was the first shift. But what I
Right.
refused to do was stay any longer than what I had stayed because I was not gonna become my mother. I was not gonna
Exactly.
bear
Ooh,
her circumstances. And
and you weren't gonna
so
repeat that
there was a
cycle.
it and it's nothing like life circumstance to make you get your prayer life tight. And baby,
Speak now.
me and the Lord got real close during that time, but it drove my dedication to make sure we
Yeah.
had the roof over our head, the bills were paid by hook or crook, but that was the
Mhm.
first shift, and it was
Wow.
horrible, but the greatness that came out of it was that I never broke, we were never on the street,
Thank
I
you.
never lost anything, and
Mm,
even though I didn't always know where the money came from, it showed up.
it showed up.
That was the
Oh my
first
word.
shift. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
that was
That is that is so deep. Thank you so much for being so vulnerable with us and sharing
mhm,
that experience. And Dr. Nicole, that just reminds me of exactly why I created the SHIP framework. Like you said, it's how you thought. And what I realized from listening to you dawned on me that as humans and as women, a lot of times we're making every decision we're making is has a financial decision
absolutely.
attached to it. And I think that we take that for granted so much. There's so much going around on the internet about women making this list of all these things that men should be able to do for them to be in their lives, da da da. And, a lot of times I look at it and I'm like, how outrageous is this? Like, you're going to miss out a good man if he has to pay $350 to get your nails done, if that's a priority to you. And of course, I can go on and on about that. But here's the thing, where that's coming from is the spiral. That answer
Mhm,
my shit framework is that spiral. That is how far women, when it comes to financial wealth building, has spiraled. Because you said key words, I was not going to repeat what my mother repeated. And a lot of these women that are writing these stuff, and I really think a lot of it is propaganda. I don't really believe there's one specific woman that wrote that entire list in its entirety. I really think that it's made up, and they never can tell us who that woman was. There's no woman standing on social media saying I made this list that has been
right.
viral, but I feel that women are making demands that may be equal to that only because they don't want to suffer. And it's like at
Mhm,
first I was very judgmental. And then like I start to as I understand that what they're trying to do is that fear, that money mindset that's attached to fear and lack, not abundance, that the fear of being in a relationship with a man where they suffer financially, and maybe those women are already spending 120, but they mean to say, look, if I'm going to be in a relationship with you, it better be a financial level up. It's really them advocating for themselves from a financial perspective to be the opposite of what their mothers have done. I'm not okay in it. Don't walk away from this episode saying that Alisa produces. The man in
that's
my
not what
life
she
knows.
said, that's not what she said, that's not
That's
what
not
she
what
said.
she said. What I'm saying is, ladies, if you have made this exhaustive this list about all the things you want from a man, and you haven't stopped to think about his character, you're still going to end up at square B, because I can tell you and show you a lot of women that they got the black credit card, they live in mansions, they got boats, they're on private jets, and they don't have any relationship with the man that they married.
No
And they
substance.
will tell you they will give up and go marry a man who drive the dump truck, who don't pay for their nails, and be in a relationship with him versus having the money. Here's the thing we're saying. We're saying, sis, literally, get the shift. Get your shift together where
Hello.
you heal your financial traumas, right? Heal the
Mhm,
financial traumas with someone like Dr. Nicole, because here's Dr. Nicole. I'm going to be vulnerable. You will be vulnerable. Let's go one for one, right?
okay.
So just recently in my life, because I have my own stories about money. Because one of the first mindset things I created, Dr. Nicole, and I published was my money mindset journal that helps you reframe your mindset. And I'm not plugging it. I don't even talk about that. But people don't understand that program of overcoming limiting beliefs with money blocks was
Mhm,
actually what I had to work on, because I was doing so many wonderful things in the world, but still seemed to be going around a painful cycle about
yeah,
money and keeping and holding or making or earning and fearing and cheering. It was just too much. So I had to
yeah,
figure out what the hell is really going on with my
that's
mindset
right,
here.
that's
And
right.
from that, I was able to create that. All I did was just had a healing space that I made for me, one healing space. I was like, okay, here, y'all can do it. somebody could learn from me. I don't think I ever charged for outside of journal. I never charged for the training. But here's the thing I just realized, because it's a journey for me. And this is why I talk about mindset mastery, because I feel like there's levels to this,
Mhm.
right? When I'm here trying to get to six figure where I break and make 100,000 a year, I'm in a different mindset, and I have certain levels of demons I got to fight and traumas I got to heal. But when I'm like, oh, I'm going for my first million, it's another level,
That's
right?
right.
So just recently, I realized that certain experiences, how my dad responded to money, how I talked about those, you were talking about those women too, that didn't
Mhm.
have financial reign, but had the responsibility of everything. So
Right.
when I was born, mommy don't kill me. She told me my mom said she gonna sue me, guys. She said she was gonna sue me. But when my mother got married, and then she had me 1 year into her marriage. She was very young, and my dad told her from the time she was married that he did not want her to work. So he's like, "Nope, she don't wanna work. He's gonna provide everything." He wasn't even rich, guys, so don't let him flash it. God rest my dad. He's went on with the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. But he said that so my mom couldn't work. She had me, and I will tell you that I am blessed because my mom did not work. But I also know my mom's life was in slow motion. Her decision-making process was subjected to someone who could be a bold-faced narky poo. That was my daddy. And so a lot of things she suffered financial abuse. And I wrote the best-selling book I Am based on what I learned through that journey of healing and recovery. But recently at this level, like I'm talking 2 weeks ago, Dr. Alisa Whyte, the number one mindset disruptor, realized that there was a bit of trauma in how I respond. Like I would never call Dr. Nicole and say, "Hey, Dr. Nicole, I don't have nothing to eat. So, do you think you could shoot me a 40?" I would never do it. I would not even call my mother or my sister, who these people are my best friend. If I needed something, I won't ask them. And that was the same mindset that will not go out and say, here's the thing. I just started this phenomenal movement. It's a nonprofit, and I need you to take that $1 million you throwing away or whatever, and help me feed these, people with education and mindset transformation. The reason I am not asking people for money to pour into what I believe in, that I created a system, is because I have a limitation on asking. The reason why, even when I hire a virtual assistant, I still kind of want to do it myself, is because I have developed a financial programming that says if you don't do it yourself, it won't get done right, and you don't ask nobody for help. And if they don't do it right, just forget them. Because as a woman, hyper independence became my lot. And even though I've done so much work, I still got levels to it. So it started with the money, because we could not depend on my dad, even though he was a provider for everything we needed. My mom was figuring things out all the time with whatever little he put and with whatever little she can do. That didn't
Mhm.
include her going to work, because he won't have that. So that, again, while it was a privilege to come home from school and my mom was there, it was a privilege that my clothes were ironed and I had home cooked meals. And even when I brought a lunch, it was a home cooked meal. It was at the sacrifice of my mama's financial independence, which in turn became financial trauma for her children. I hope that makes sense to y'all. I'm telling you. So basically, that is where you have to literally be very specific in working with a financial strategist like Dr. Nicole to stop the spiral. Because like she said, it would do nothing. She can help. You can go get, even if you get $1 million today, you might find yourself broke in 1.2 years, because you don't have a relationship with money that is healthy because of the traumas that you've experienced. And that's why rewiring and reframing your mindset is the first step. Y'all got it?
Absolutely.
Dr. Nicole, jump in there. Respond. I'm gonna let
Absolutely.
you jump, because I give a
But
whole lot.
and that is everything that you say is 100% on point, because when you come to me,
Mhm.
the first step that we're gonna do is a review. We're gonna examine. It's called the examination phase. Where did you learn your habits? Who did you
Mm.
see? And it doesn't
Mhm.
have to be somebody sat down at the table and said, Dr. Lisa, this is how you do this. It could
Yeah.
just be the fact that they didn't teach you that way. You just observed. You
Right.
watched. When I have a mom and daughter couple that came to me, and I would let the daughter speak. Mom would just be like, yep, that's what we did, because everything that the daughter was doing is what she watched her mom do.
Learn from
Mom
my
come home
mom.
from work stressed and upset, she's shopping. Disappointments
Mm.
happen, she's shopping. But
Shopping.
when she's shopping, she's taking this child with her. So
She's
she didn't
watching.
say, girl, that
Right.
done made me mad, so I'm finna go shopping. No, she's listening to her mom on her phone with her friends, or
Yes.
mom is
As you
walking around the
should.
house and she's mad. I done went, then get, and she's watching what mom does. They listen
She's
to
like,
half of
this
what we
equals
say.
that.
They do 100% of what we do,
Percent of
what they
what we
see us
do.
do. Correct.
Woo! Mic drop.
And so now it's mom, daughter, and a granddaughter.
Mm.
And the daughter is doing the same thing that she's duplicating her mother. So guess who's watching? The little 6-year-old. So she called me
Yeah.
one day in a panic. She's like, Miss Nicole, we need an intervention. We get on the phone. Both of them mad. Something happened. Everybody arguing. And now they just got back from the mall. And each one of them spent $600 that was nowhere in the budget. Nowhere. Said,
Oh my
okay. And
God.
so the daughter is like, I'm taking my stuff back. I said, and what else are you going to do? She said, I'm going to take the baby and I'm going to explain to her, this was not the right way to do this.
Wait.
This was not the
Powerful.
right way to handle this. And so the
Yes.
mom is like, well, she can go ahead and take it back because I'm not doing it. I deserve this. And, and I don't care what you say, Nicole. I said, I don't have anything to say because I'm not here to tell you you right or wrong. But I got one question. Can I ask a
Is it
question?
working
Okay,
for
go
you?
ahead. I said, well, where's the money coming from that's going to cover this $600 you just spent that's not in the budget?
Oh,
Success.
where them fans?
Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Because all she
Oh my
said is,
goodness.
look, she said, all right, Nicole. She said, baby, here, I could give mama cup because she didn't win and bill money to spend
Yes.
on all of that stuff she just spent
Right.
at the mall. So I'm
Wow.
not here to
Listen.
tell you that it's right or wrong, but I am
Yeah.
here to be your reality check because we've already
Right.
examined what your traumas were. And through the examination process, we have a revelation of what those traumas are. And now they were in the transformation stage because everything they got to shift, they got to change. And now they're recognizing the triggers. And that is the
Mm.
fun part for me as your coach because I'm watching you say, you know what? Every time I get mad, I go and buy this. But now I have these mechanisms in place that help me recognize because the circumstances are going to happen again.
Yeah.
That boss gonna make you mad. That coworker gonna say something that you don't like. That boyfriend or that girlfriend gonna tick you off. The person
Right.
that you normally
You are
drive on
going
the
to
highway
be
with gonna cut you off.
broke.
All of those things.
God, you
It's
broke.
not about their actions, it's about your reaction. And so now that you
Yes.
got these things in place that say, you know what? Because see, Nicole helped me see that if I want to get out of debt, if I want to increase my saving, if I want to pay off that car, if I want to buy this home, if I want that vacation to be paid in full and not just the carnival vacation, I want the real luxurious vacation. I want the
Yes.
all inclusive and I want the top shelf when I get there. I want the full body massage. Matter of fact, bring 2 therapists over here to work on my body. If I want all of that, see how I help you visualize all that? You can feel the
Yes.
wind blowing in your hair when I help you
I'm
visualize.
looking at you. I feel like you are getting a massage right now. Listen, I just want the listeners who listen to the podcast around the world knowing that you have to run to the YouTube channel because y'all can't just listen to this, okay? If you jumped off of listening and jumped over to the video on my YouTube channel, let us know you saw when she whipped out the fan. That when I was going crazy here, she whipped out the fan, and that's why we were singing Where Them Fans. And if you're in Ireland and Austria and you haven't heard the song Where Them Fans At, just look it up. This
Just
is
look it
this
up.
is
Just look it
the
up.
essence of America. The bread and butter of America is that we as Afro Americans, we're able to create joy and it's something they call black joy. And I'm just having some good old black joy, but we talking money, we
That's
talking
right. We
women,
talking about that money.
and we talking transformation, we
That's
talking
right.
breakthrough, and this is how we build generational wealth, Dr.
And
Nicole.
that's Dr. Lisa, when they start that showing that transformation, and they're like, I had an aha moment, or I was in the store and I heard you say, and it caused me not to do what I'm used to doing. When you
Right.
start seeing those things happen for your clients, that is nothing but pure joy because now you went from the examination where sometimes that's really hard. Those
Yeah.
revelations, when we look at that, because we look at some hardcore paperwork and you can't, the numbers don't lie. They are what they
Nope.
are. But when you get to that transformation stage and you really start catching yourself, you start changing, you start doing things differently,
Mhm.
now the
Mhm.
results. So you go from
Mhm.
the transformation to implementation. When you start
Come on.
implementing, doing new things, and now you're seeing those different results, that's your
Mhm.
manifestation stage. And that those last three steps for me to see that
Mhm.
for you, where your bank account that used to be all in the negative, now you got enough money in there that it's got a comma in it and it's steady growing. And now you got envelopes because I make you do the cash envelope system
Mm.
where you're really you're allotting and now you're labeling and you have dedicated dollars to a certain function. I don't
Yes.
tell you you can't eat out forever, but I will tell you to stop and put a plan in place because that's the
Come
strategy.
on.
And now
Come on
what's in
now.
that envelope is all that you can spend. And you now
Yes.
know that I feel good. But guess what else is starting to happen? You don't
Tell us.
have that anxiety that keeps you
Come
tossing and
on.
turning at night,
Ooh,
right? Now your health is impacted because you're getting some better sleep. I spoke to
yes.
someone just this morning. And I asked her, I said, "What would you have done if you hadn't been in my class these past 6 months?" She said, "Listen, my boyfriend told me
Mm.
he's seeing a change in my attitude. My supervisor
Mm.
said my confidence level is up.
That's
My
that trauma
cousins are
healing.
looking at me
Jesus.
like, 'What are you doing?'" She said, "Miss
Yes.
Nicole." She's paid off about $5,000 worth of debt in six
Wow.
months. She's never
Wow.
done that before. So when I
Yes.
start seeing those types of tangible results, I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And
You
that's the
know,
passion.
yes. And I'll say this, Dr. Nicole, I really believe that what you teach should be taught in schools. And that's when we first met
Absolutely.
as you were taking your spot as the country director for MM360. I told you that you have to create that curriculum that we can actually start teaching these, like just these main things, because what we are hoping, or what we as a society, I'm saying collectively, not specifically, but collectively, I believe that we've come to a place in society, because remember, like I said, my mom was at home, and I, even though we had that experience with my dad, I'll tell you what, I am 80% of the person I was because my mom did not go to work. So my dad had the right
Mhm.
idea, right? Having that parent at home. And I still firmly believe that women should thrive to be in a couple co-parenting situation, whatever that looks like, with their children's father, so that they are able to walk in their purpose. But once that child is at a certain age, they're able to dedicate most of their life. And don't y'all tell me that I'm saying women belong in the home. But I find that a lot of the breakdown we have in society is because women aren't present to do the nurturing and the raising. Because my mom taught me personal finance. So
Mm,
if I came to talk to you in your coaching program, there are going to be some mindset reframing, probably based on what level and what I'm working. But what I could tell you when it comes to managing the home and managing personal finance and saving and not overindulging in hair, nails, makeup, and all that. My mom taught me that. Not from
mhm.
necessarily a scarcity mindset, but from the mindset of managing what you have,
Right.
and delayed gratification to work and build and save for what you want. So when I came to America, the credit card system was like, what in the world? This is crazy. How are people? And then these people come after you for it. Like, and part of the problem why my credit score would not grow is because I won't take the credit card. So I had to work through my limitation and understand and learn how. You see what I'm saying? But we think, the point I was making is that we think that parents are teaching children personal finance at home, but then parents are thinking schools are teaching their children personal finance. Or maybe we just forgot that that's something we need to teach them, and not just leave them to pick up, like you said, by environment, what Snoop Dogg is doing with money, what Aaliyah's, come on, and what mama and grandma is doing money, because they're just observing, like you said. So now
And
they're
I think
observing.
what we have to also realize is that, because see, my mom was home, but my mom didn't
Right.
know jack about personal finances because of the environment she was in. She was living
Uh,
with a narcissist who was a control freak.
oh,
Okay. So it's not always that. It really
right.
is, and it's about you come from a different background. My mom was
Right.
home too, but
So
I
yeah.
didn't learn good personal finances from her. And back
Right.
in that day, I'm Winnie Young, high school class of 1990. We had economics. We had to learn how to write out a check. We had to learn how to type on a typewriter.
But
Basic
they're not
skill
teaching that in
principles.
school
But they're
anymore.
not teaching that in school now because by the time my children in high school and I pulled out a checkbook, my son was like, "What's that?" Boy, sit down. Say, "Have a
They
seat and
only
let mama show
they
you."
only know about credit cards because 'cause I'm
They
sure
only
he's
know
in his
about debit
late
cards and credit cards.
yes,
But it's so
my
it
niece and
really
nephew, they
goes
don't
back
know about
to
it.
exactly, what are we teaching our children? And so
Intentionality.
yeah, absolutely. So we do have to be intentional. We have to be specific. We have to prepare our children for the future. And that really
Mhm.
goes into when we start talking about our legacy building. Okay.
Come on.
My children are functioning adults that handle their own, they're grown and gone. They handle their
Mhm.
personal finances. They are well
Mhm.
versed in savings and paying off debt, all of those things. But that's what
Because
I
you
taught them
taught
because it was
them.
not on the curriculum in their school.
That's right.
And so, but what we also have to look at is women my age, and don't ask me, you figured out. Don't try and guess. I'm not gonna tell you, figured out. Ain't none of your business, okay?
You would never
But
guess, so don't
I'm
even
on
try. That's
let me
all I
give them a
gotta
hint.
tell
I'm
y'all.
on the other side of 50. Okay. The other
Don't
side of
even
50. That's
try to
all you
guess, you
get.
won't get it.
That's all you
Ah!
get. But there are a lot of women that up until a few years ago during the pandemic that were still
Mhm.
dealing with significant amounts of student loan debt,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
And that
Yes.
was a very big hindrance. Okay.
Yes.
And I mean hundreds of thousands of debt, but that goes back to what you started in the beginning about the disenfranchisement that women receive.
Experience.
We've got to get 2 and 3 more degrees than some of our counterparts. So what does that
To get
mean?
our average check, yeah.
We and we're still falling behind. So what does that
Right.
mean?
If
We
we
have
only get 82 cents on a dollar. So
correct.
what a
We
dollar is for a man is not a dollar for a woman, it's 82 cents.
exactly. It's not exactly. And so now we have women who are also more benefiting more, I should say, when it came to the student loan forgiveness. I happen to be one
Yes.
of those.
I have not. I have not. I still
Yeah.
have and I think when I moved to the US almost 25 years ago, they didn't put student loans on your credit, but then somehow somebody along the journey added it. I don't think it was Dr. Nicole. Correct me if I'm wrong,
It
because I could be mis
well, when I was in college, they were not. By the time I was a functioning adult in the world, yes, they were.
yes, they did.
Because it
And
was a
yes, and that is
way
a big
yeah,
problem.
a big problem, but more of us benefited from student loan forgiveness than our counterparts. See, their debt went under their
Oh.
parents getting personal loans, right? Whereas
Oh.
we use student loans. And so now when student loan forgiveness went out, our counterparts were arguing you shouldn't do that because we're still paying because they had private loans or they had paid out, they worked 10 years beyond their retirement date to put their kids through college. That
Oh,
didn't
so
happen in our community all the time.
we had to
Okay.
take a loan.
We had to
Yeah.
take the loans out. And so that trillions of dollars, we represented three-fourths of that number.
Oh, I
So
did
it
not know
only
that.
was, it just statistically, we were
Mhm.
going to be the bigger benefactors of it. But my
That's why
thought
we didn't
came
get it.
into, because I'm like in looking down the line, if I can teach you how to buy a home with your student loan debt because you're a single mom or you're married with children, can I now
Mhm.
help you teach your children how to get scholarships and stay
Without
out
getting a
of
student loan
student
debt.
loan debt? Let's work
Yes.
on that. When things like that start to happen, now I'm helping you again shift your mindset because student loan
Mhm.
debt and student loan opportunities not going to always be here for us. We will
Mhm.
never see this amount of reform for student loan
Yes.
debt ever again, at least not in our
Mhm.
lifetime. Okay. But
Mhm.
what that did was give us buying power. That moved us up the notch when it came to, because now that $152,912.83 that the government forgave off of me,
Mhm.
do you know how much weight I lost when I got that letter? Oh, running down the hall. People thought I
I
was
did not get
crazy.
it. I
They
did
thought I
not
was
get that letter.
crazy, but I was
'Cause my last name is White, it didn't hit me.
listen, my student loan debt was as high as my house, okay?
Oh
The
my
balance I
gosh. I
paid for
don't
my
have that
house.
many because I got a lot of scholarships
Yes,
when I
even
did the
with it
WIOA grant, so it helped a lot. So mine is still
yes,
sizably small for my educations.
yes, and mine paid for 3 degrees, through undergrad, a master's, and a law degree. So,
Yeah, so
it
that was
was an
awesome.
exceptional
Congratulations.
process, but thank you. But I think my next biggest shift, if you don't mind me sharing, was
Absolutely.
it came in 2008.
Mhm.
I'm divorced, I'm a single mom, and now I wanna become a homeowner. Let me
Mm.
tell you what else I had done. After college, I think I was in my early 20s when I filed my first Chapter 7.
Mhm.
After I got divorced,
Mhm.
some years later, and to get rid of all of the debt that we had accumulated together, I filed my second Chapter 7. Okay.
Wow.
Yep. So now I am here. The society would say you a two-time loser. But I want your listeners to write this down. It is
Okay.
not what anybody calls you, it's what you answer to.
To answer to ooh, come on now.
Okay.
That's what my aunt
Imma
taught
say
me
it
when I was young.
again. It's never what they call you, it's what you answer to.
Yes.
So in 2008, I was determined to become a homeowner. I didn't know
Right.
how, I didn't know about what miracle God was gonna work that out. But I
Yeah.
started doing the education part, going to the
Mhm.
seminars. And the last seminar I went to, a mortgage guy, I sat with him. He looked at my credit report, and God knows it was 30 plus pages long. Okay. I had my own little forest in my credit report. And that man told me that he said, "You will never be a homeowner."
Yeah. Gosh. Wow.
Say that again,
The
sir.
devil is a lie. The
I
devil is a
said, "This
lie.
was me." Bet,
Not the pen.
bet. I love a challenge,
Let's do
especially
this.
when I got to bet on me. I'm gonna always
Yes.
bet on me.
Bet on me. Come on. That mindset.
Ma'am,
That's a mindset.
that's a mindset. That's the first time, and I was 30 plus years old, that I actually sat
Mm.
down at the table with my credit report and a notebook and a pencil and wrote my
Mhm.
first real budget.
Mm.
And when I tell you I laid that thing out, and the first thing I said is, "We're gonna have to stop eating out." I started following Dave Ramsey's envelope system. My
Yeah.
kids thought I
Mhm.
was crazy because I
Mhm.
went hard in the paint because they wanted a backyard, and I was tired of walking up to the 3rd floor with no elevators,
Mm.
okay? Just a little bitty things that made me shift,
Shift.
and that was
The
the
little
early
moves.
part of 2008. On 9/9/09, I
Mhm.
purchased my first home.
Mm.
I had the biggest house on the cul-de-sac,
Yeah.
okay, fenced
Oh,
in the way
wow.
I wanted. I had small requests, needed to be fenced in. I needed all the entryways to already have screen doors, and I needed all the
Mm.
windows to have window blinds up already.
Bryson.
Those were my
Yes.
only 3 requirements. Everything else
Wow.
was extra. It was the
Everything else
biggest
is
house on the cul-de-sac. I went to the closing table with $602 and some change, and I had a 2.25% interest rate.
wow. That is awesome.
And the
That is
first thing
unheard of.
my kids we were happy, but the first thing I did after that, can you guess what it was? I went back to that seminar, sat
Oh.
back in that chair, and I looked at that man, and I pushed my keys, my garage door opener, and my closing receipt in his face.
On his
I said, "Now,
wonderful.
tell another black woman what she can't do. Just
And
make sure you get what the."
how long did it take from him saying that to you to with actually realizing?
The early part of 2008 to 9/9/09, so about a year and a half.
So about a year and a half before you
Mhm.
and that you went from filing Chapter 7 twice, a 30-page credit report, obviously, and him as a supposed expert giving you the diagnosis that if you had to be honest, you would say he was probably right, but
Mhm.
you did not let that be what you believe to be true. Just because someone is right and they might be stating facts, it doesn't mean it's your truth.
That's right.
That's the difference between facts and truth. Statistically, your is a very impossible situation what he's
That's
looking at
right.
on paper. This is why I tell people, let the doctors tell you what they tell you so you can know what you're up against, but don't let it be the truth in the
That's
final say
right.
so in your life. Because he's writing a prescription based on his expertise and his practice. But it doesn't have to be your truth and reality, because here's the thing, your mindset.
That's it. That part.
Your thoughts dictate your results. You are a master co-creator for me, with God for
That's
your
right.
life.
That's
Not
right.
the doctors, not the financial planner or the mortgage lender or all of that. So that's why I talk about how can I, and that was what I figured you pivot is that how can I mindset is, first of all, this all happened. How can I use all this pain of chapter sevens and whatever you dealt with as a stepping stone? It's the
That's right.
how can I mindset. And once you ask that question, answers
Yes.
will come, because now you are pulling yourself actively. You said, I went to the seminars, I did this, I did that, and you reverse your situation. And no, you don't get to learn how on the podcast. That's what you pay for.
Look, it's a whole lot of work. But here's the difference between me where I was and the people in my community.
Mm-hmm.
I needed a me back then, and I didn't have one. So
Yes.
today, I am the me that they need. So
Biggest cheat
I
code
know
in
where
life.
they're sitting. I know what they want. I can tell them things about themselves with only a little bit of the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
because I sat in that seat. I know what
Mm-hmm.
it is to be a single mom and you got all these hats. I got to get the kids up. I got to get them breakfast. I got to pack their lunches. I got to get them to school. I got to make sure they have a way home from school. We got to do homework. Somebody got football. Somebody got cheers. Somebody going swimming. You know
Mm-hmm.
what? And that's just Monday. I didn't even
Wow.
talk about what mom has to do. Like she got to go to
Mm-hmm.
work. She got to deal with these people, and those are all kinds of colorful words for that. I got to fight traffic to get home, to pick them up, take them home. I got
Yeah.
to iron, I got to cook, I got to clean. Every once in a while, I might want to take a bath or a shower and brush my teeth.
Might want to go poo-poo.
And might want to do that. So
I know that's gross, but
you got all
TMI.
these hats.
Imagine as a woman, when you have children and all those responsibilities, going to the bathroom is an inconvenience. This is why so many of us suffer with incontinence earlier in life, because we don't wore our bladder out by holding ourselves from stopping what we're doing, even while we're at work, to go to the bathroom. That's a whole nother podcast. We're not going to talk about that. But yes, all these things
All
that
you
Dr.
wear,
Nicole
so we
stated.
wear all these different hats. I haven't even talked about church, activities,
Oh
friends,
gosh.
husband, boyfriend, girlfriend. I ain't talked about none of that. And please don't belong to
Right.
a sorority the way I do. Okay? That's a whole nother all of these different things. And then here comes Nicole talking about look at your bank statement. Write down your budget. Ma'am, the
Yeah.
last thing I'm finna do is all of that.
Yes.
But
I got you.
if you find the moments, because we all
Mhm.
had, I could tell them, Dr. Lisa, everybody got 24 hours. And 24 doesn't sound really big, right?
Mm-mm.
That's not what I tell them. We all have the same 1,440 minutes in a day. Can I get you
Mm.
to allot 60? 1,440 minutes. Can I
It
get you to
sounds so
allot
different when you say that.
60
Yeah.
to your own self-care?
Mm.
Self-care, and then another 30 to 45 to learning about your finances. And that's a
Mm.
whole array. That could be reading a book, that could be listening to a podcast.
Podcast.
Okay. And you can
Yeah.
listen to the podcast in a car, so we can double up on that. It might be to
Right.
watch a YouTube channel where somebody like
Yes.
me is walking you through. Here's how do you get your organization,
Come on
because your
now.
organization is the foundation of your structure. Once you have organization, then you start setting the structure. Once you set the structure, you reach the goals. Once you reach the financial goals,
Come
but you got
on.
to start. But you got to
You gotta
start.
start. You
Got to
gotta
start.
start.
Boy, if you couldn't tell
Whoa.
I'm passionate about it, I need you to see.
She is fired up. I'm pretty sure, because I have goosies here. I got goosies because here I've known you for over almost a year now. And I know you're really great at what you do, but watching you in action is such a breathtaking. Whew, I love it. And at one point I was teared up here, but I know if I start, then you just gonna carry on and it's gonna
I
be a
mean,
whole nother
listen,
show. She got the fan, guys. She's got the fan. So, Dr. Nicole, let me ask you this. When it comes to breaking limiting beliefs, what is one of the biggest lies that women believe about money, and how do those lies keep them from, or keep them in a cycle of lack, rather? What is one of those biggest lies that you feel that women have?
one of the biggest lies is that they come last when it comes to their money management.
Mic drop.
Yeah,
Mm.
okay?
That's it.
They feel like, "I gotta take care of him or her, I gotta take care of the kids, I gotta take care of my mom and
Mhm.
daddy, I gotta take care of my brother, sister, my niece and nephew, little baby down the corner. I gotta help everybody, but I help me
Right.
last."
Right.
And that's not true. We
Mm.
getting women to shift, I tell them every time, life is an airplane, and what's the
Mm.
first thing they tell you if the mask drop? Put yours
Cut it
on
off
first.
before you help
Put yours
anyone.
on first because you cannot be the foundation for everybody if you choking. So,
Ooh.
take the money out that goes to you and your what you have to do, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes we feel like we can't save and pay off debt at the same time. You absolutely must.
Mm.
You must. You have to create the savings for the emergency fund. You have to create saving for the self-care. And self-care
Yes.
doesn't have to be expensive. Self-care could be that scoop of ice cream that you don't share with nobody. So you go and get it from the creamery store on your way home by yourself and sit there and
Sit
eat
in
it.
your car and eat it. Come on.
You just relax, you let the wind blow across your face. You don't think about what you're gonna do when you get there. You enjoy the moment right there.
Yeah.
The creamery
Yes.
costs what, $7? Put it in the budget, right?
Put it
It
in the
might
budget.
put it in the budget. It might be Saturday morning when you get up while they're still asleep and you go outside in the backyard and you listen to the sounds of nature. You go for
Right.
a walk and you
Yes.
listen to the sounds of nature and you don't think about anybody but you.
Come on now.
Stop putting us last. Stop putting yourself last. Let me tell
Wow.
you what, you go to work every day.
Mhm.
And yes, some of us have entitlement spending, but sometimes we need to have the mindset of, I got to take care of me first before I help everybody else.
Anybody
But,
else. Yeah.
Dr. Nicole, Dr. Lisa, that's my son. You are putting more emphasis on him being your son or your daughter or your mom versus
Mm.
them putting the emphasis on, that's my child. I can't put everything on. That's my mama. I can't put everything on her.
Right. They don't think
You
that
better
way.
start
And
matching
that's why
energy.
you get resentful, because every time you look around and realize they don't think about you the way you think about them, now you mad. Why are you mad though? You set this up this way. Why are you mad?
Exactly. So it's time for us to realize we are just as much as a priority as
Mhm.
everyone else. Think about back in the
Mhm.
day when we had big mamas. Big mama cooked,
Mm.
clean. She made sure all the kids got off to school. She made sure the grandkids was fine. But when Big
Mhm.
Mama went down, the whole family crumbled.
Yes.
That's because Big Mama wouldn't take
That's
care
not
of
a
herself.
cycle that's
That's
helps.
not a
That cycle
cycle
has,
we wanna
yes.
continue, and that is the biggest lie that we continue to keep going, and we
That's
pass
I s
on to our
Yes.
children. We keep
Yes.
passing it on. We gotta carry everything here, and we don't.
Mhm.
We don't.
Mhm. And I have to say, honey, sister girl, sis, get your shift together, because that's not love, that's martyrdom. That's
Mhm.
martyrdom. And, no, Jesus already went and died on the cross. We don't need another one of those.
And he left in his word, he did not come for us to live in
Yes.
that. He did
Yes.
not take all those stripes along
Yes.
the way to the cross for me
Yes.
to live in fear, for me to
Mm.
live without, for me to be afraid, for me to not come first. He
Yeah.
didn't do that. He didn't sacrifice all of what he and endure what he endured for me to go without.
Exactly.
That's not what
Exactly.
he did. That's not what he did.
That's not what that sacrifice for. So, Dr. Nicole, you've got an amazing program, an organization that you've built called Wealthy Women's Lifestyle. so in love with it, and I'm so passionate about what you do with it. But under your umbrella of Wealthy Women Lifestyle, you have an amazing event coming up in about 4 months. We are now.
Yes.
Tell us about your movement, Wealthy Women's Lifestyle, the heartbeat of your mission, and tell us about the retreat that's upcoming.
Ooh, that's my baby. That is truly my baby. In the pandemic, right before the pandemic started,
Mhm.
I had a medical diagnosis that shook. I mean, it rocked my world. Okay, so just
Yeah.
briefly, I'm listening to this doctor tell me that you had an abnormal mammogram, so we need to do a
Mm.
biopsy.
Mhm.
Okay, let me schedule the appointment. No, we're gonna do this now. Now. Lay on the table. I'm crying the whole time. The results come back. The doctors call me and say, "Well, we got the results of the biopsy. We don't know what we're looking at." Oh, what the hell you call me for?
Mhm.
Imma need you to
Mhm.
keep going in your process.
Yeah.
Eventually, I got to an oncologist at the University of Alabama, and he diagnosed me with something called Rose-Dorfman disease, and it's a
I've never
disease of
heard of
my
that.
immune system where my body overproduces white blood cells, and sometimes the blood cells you'll see people who have these keloids, that's
Mhm.
could possibly be as a result of that. So they were
Yeah.
expecting keloids here, keloids there, something in the lymph nodes. Well,
Lymph
no, mine
nodes.
clumped in the breast. And I said, must be a man's disease. Well, the
Oh
disease
my
is
god.
named after Dr. Rose and Dr. Dorfman, two men.
Oh my goodness, it's called Rose-Darfman's
Yeah,
disease, is
yeah,
that what it's
yeah.
called?
Yes, ma'am. And so at the time, one of the doctors who at the time of my diagnosis, both of the doctors were still living, okay? And I was
Mm.
one of 1,500 cases worldwide. So
Oh, it's very rare.
very rare. And so you can have extreme conditions that they treat with chemotherapy, and you can have very mild, okay? And so
Wow.
that diagnosis, and then a few months later, the world shuts down with the pandemic.
Mhm.
I really started in trying to envision and keep myself motivated by doing vision boards. I'd always
Mm.
liked to doodle with them, but I never liked the
Yeah.
big oversized ones. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's just a bunch of pictures. So as a
Yeah.
strategist, I needed more. And
Yeah.
so as the pandemic started to clear up and things like that, I created what I call a portable vision board. So I'm the center of my board, and you're going to be the center of your board,
Of
right?
your board, yeah.
Right, so this is what my
Oh, I
portable
love
vision
it. You
board
guys
looks
have to
like.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what it looks like. That's me, one of my first photo shoots when I moved to
I
Dallas. Plenty
love
of
it. It's such
stickers that
beautiful
motivate
photo.
me, but your vision board is gonna be in components, right?
I
So I
love
got
that
my
concept.
health, my travel, my business, my let's see, my faith, my
Finance, I think.
finances, business, travel, and health. Okay.
I
And
love
each
it.
board is full of stickers, but the most important part for me is the strategy.
Mm.
You wanna buy a house, you put the house
Mhm.
up there, that's for you. Great. Neighborhood, bedroom, square footage, where the dog gonna sleep at, where the mama-in-law gonna sleep at, all of the things. Basement,
Yeah.
attic, man cave, woman cave, all of that. But
Yeah.
how do you get there, Dr. Lisa? That's the strategy. So one arm is
Yes.
gonna be pay off debt, another arm is going to be build the savings, the other arm is gonna be build the credit report, the other arm is gonna be X, Y, and Z. That's the
Yes.
strategic part, okay?
Yes.
So my
Yes.
community knows when they leave home, they grab their purse, their keys, their coat, and their vision
And
board,
the board,
okay?
yeah.
So that they can always keep it in front of them. After the pandemic in 2020 we did a vision board party, and they flew in from
Mhm.
across the country to Dallas. The worst travel day of the year in Dallas. Flights were getting canceled left and right. But Saturday morning, we were here. We were at this table. And when I tell you it was that experience was so alive. We started off with, what is it that you want to get rid of? Fear,
Yeah.
doubt, confusion, misunderstanding, brokenheartedness, health issues. I
Mm.
mean, the list went on. We took
Yeah.
all of the stickers and we put them on the balloons that were there. And then we had the virtual people, and we wrote theirs out too. And at the
Mhm.
end of the event, I started saying, now what have we replaced all? Because if you take the bad stuff out, you got to put good stuff
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Self-confidence, partnerships, friendships, prayer, action steps, all of the things. So now we fill that up. But one thing we had to do to finalize it, we took those balloons, we went out by the pool and we did a balloon release.
Release.
We let it
Beautiful.
go. Let it
Yeah.
go. And so
Yeah.
when they left, they got in touch. We had another session. How do you guys feel? Great. We want more. Or
This is a lot.
okay, let's let it go. So 2025 gets planning gets underway. They fly back to Dallas in January, and we went from a 1-day retreat to a 3-day weekend. And when I tell you
Mm.
the speakers poured in them, we had a self-care strategist come in and talk about the beautiful things that they wanted to do, but what was the cost of not doing them? I still have their
Ooh.
cost board here. And every so often,
Mm.
I break it out for them, say, remember these? This is what you
Yeah.
want to do. This is the cost of not
Us of
doing
not
it.
doing it.
And here's what rules don't get reached. So every
Mm.
show them, right? It's a beautiful board and it will be back at the event in January of 2020 when they had a power couple that talked about your femininity. We've been
Mm.
head of households for so long that we have to release masculinity. Because her
Come
husband
on. That's
said,
what I
"Oh,
was
you
talking
are
about.
very masculine." I said, "Baby, I'm masculine over here. What are you talking about? Even my dog
Yes.
is feminine." And then you know what I realized? I may have been wearing masculinity so long that
Yeah.
I didn't know what it looked like to
What
be
it looks
feminine.
like. Yeah. It's not
So
femininity. It's not the red
yes, so
lipstick and the long hair down our rear.
not at all. So that was not it. And so then we had our sex educator.
Mm.
This is the wildest part of the event, you all. She came in, Dr. Goody Howard, and she teaches a class called Rideology, and it's just how it sounds. Don't ask me no questions. I tell you no lie. And when I tell you these ladies had a blast and they wore out the replay, and when the replay access went away, they was like, "What happened?" I was like, "Leave me alone."
Oh my goodness.
But they had a blast, and then we got
Yeah.
to Saturday. We did the vision board event. When I tell you the transformation portion of
Mhm.
that, my God, the tears that were
Mm.
shared, the bonds that
Mm.
will form, the people were just
Mhm.
with each other for the first time. They're still like family today. They still talk about the
Beautiful.
event, and we're getting ready to have the next one. And so,
Yes. Recharge your hustle and reignite your
yes.
fire.
So I this year's theme is finding your way to clarity, confidence, and control.
I love
We
that.
have to find our way to clarity, confidence, and
Confidence and
control.
control.
And because clarity comes in the doing. When you do it, you feel more confident. And when your confidence sets in, you now get to take control so that your inputs now direct your output. And I
Yes.
absolutely love it. So I have some beautiful surprises. We've got some great sponsors that have donated things that will be given away. When I tell you our sponsor starts with the hotel, it's gonna be at the Sandman Signature Hotel in Plano, Texas. They are
Mm.
sponsoring our champagne welcome reception and toast on Thursday night. We have dot cards for our entrepreneurs that are gonna be given away. It's the new age of being able to transfer information without the traditional
Mhm.
business cards. But as I say
Yeah.
about self-care, we also have a company called World Springs. They have 42 spa pools on their grounds. It is the updated and a luxurious aqua therapy for you. It
Oh, I
helps with
love that.
joints. It helps with mineral deficiencies. I absolutely love it. We also have Q's Health and Wellness. They're out of Alabama. They're called the Spa Boss Tribe of Alabama. We have several
Mm.
entrepreneurs out of there that talk about health and wellness and detox. See, we're not just working only on the mind, we're working
Mine,
on
we're
the
walking on the
full
body,
body.
the whole
Okay, we're
person.
working on the
Yes.
full body. So I'm super excited. And I do have some people that are in our community that came into 2025 with a goal of launching a business.
Mm.
They have done that, and so in 2026, I get to introduce them as first-time business owners. And that
Ah,
Dr. Lisa is and I said,
ah.
"Wow, this
Play
podcast."
that,
I said,
build
"I'm like
wealth,
a
live
proud."
your life on your terms. My goodness, it's not just a retreat, it's a full circle transformation.
It
I
is.
love it. I love it. So, guys, listen, if you're watching us, I want you to go and get your tickets at the wealthywomanlifestyle.com/retreat. It is
Yes.
so important because guess why? Guess what, guys? Guess
Ooh,
what? I'm
wait,
gonna be in them.
listen, when I started putting the panel together for speakers, I was nervous. I didn't tell her this, but I was nervous. I was like, "Dr. Lisa, would you speak on my panel?" She said, "Yes." So Dr.
Of
Alisa
course.
Whyte of Mindset Mastery 360, the number one mindset disruptor, will be giving a
Thank
whole panel. She will be doing a whole presentation. And
Yes.
listen. As we were talking and we were planning, she was like, "You
Uh-huh.
know what? How about I do something extra for the VIPs on Sunday?" I was like,
Yes.
"Yeah."
I'm excited. We're gonna have a VIP breakout in-depth deep dive with me. I can't wait because it gets even better. That's just we're just gonna go deeper than what we do with my
And you
message
know
on
why I
Saturday.
love that? Is because you're gonna open them up and then you're gonna
Yes.
close them out.
We're gonna
So
close
now
out.
that
Absolutely.
everything in between is going to have
Mhm.
that beautiful purple bow wrapped around it, and
Mhm.
imagine both of us being on brand colors with purple. It's
We
going to
both
have
love
that
purple. The color
beautiful
purple.
bow. Yes, that beautiful
Yes.
royal legacy authority wrapped up to send them home and plan
Yes.
out the rest of their 2026, and not
Yes.
just plan it, but have a strategic
Strategic
roadmap to
roadmap.
accomplishing the goal.
Strategic roadmap. Yes.
Yes, that's
Yes.
my
Y'all see
baby.
why I
That's
love
my
her?
thing.
Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness. And again, if you're listening to us, all the description and information will be in wherever you're watching and looking at this. It's thewealthywomanlifestyle.com/retreat. Oh my gosh. It's going to be so powerful. I will be doing one of my signature keynotes, which is Sis, Get Your Shift Together. And if you heard anything else, I said that too.
She said what she said.
It will be a real talk, real disruption where we're going to drive through specifically as women to move through limiting beliefs that keep us in cycles of survival instead of overflow. We're going to go through
Yes.
my step by step framework to stop the spiral, heal the hesitation, yield to possibility, focus forward, and then take territory, which will absolutely power you up to go from stuck to unstoppable. Listen, sis, it's time to reclaim your crown, okay? So it's not just me. There's some other dynamic speakers that are going to be there. Dr. Nicole, tell us a little bit more about those other women that are going to
Listen,
speak into us.
we have Dominique Merriweather. She also is coming out of Alabama. I've watched her build her faith and physical fitness program. She is about women walking in faith. And so she gets out there. She's got several groups across several different states where she is coaching them to physical fitness. Again, if you are sick and broke down, you are no good to yourself or anyone
Come on.
else.
Come on
And
now.
she has taken that to a whole new level. And I'm so excited to have her come and do meditation with us. She's going to open us
Hmm.
up on Friday morning with the morning meditation. She's going to get us actually
Beautiful.
physically going, moving and grooving. And she's going to give us the prayer. Oh my gosh, because she is a minister as well.
Perfect.
When I have some people that I need to move some prayers through heaven, she
She's
definitely on that
one.
dial up list. And then we're going to hear from some more entrepreneurs within the community. They're going to tell you about their journey. For those
Hmm.
of you who are sitting on the fence as to have an idea, but we're going to stop talking about the buts and anything that comes out of that. We're going to
Yes.
share with you people who walked into 2025 with an idea and they're closing out 2025 with a plan and full
Yes.
production of a business. And then we're going to have Friday night. It's Friday night. Gonna have fun. Yes, we have a full-fledged activity plan. I've got an awesome DJ, DJ Terrence, who is here
Yes. Yes,
Exactly.
I'm looking
And
forward
when
to
I
that.
tell you a beast of burdens when it comes to the ones and twos, as well
Yeah.
as he's the master of ceremonies. And of course, Dr. Goody Howard will be doing the rhinology class, and then the main
Rideology.
right. If you want to ride, okay, then listen, you gotta be there. You gotta be there. You ought to be there. Then he
I
so
I will
then
be there. I will
that's
be there, and
it.
I'm probably
That's
gonna
it.
make sure for that class I got my cowgirl boots on, cause I'm
Hey,
gonna ride it,
you gonna
ride it.
be in Dallas, and it will be nothing less. We also have Robin Kelton. She is podcaster of the Mamapreneur. She's a boy mom, and she loves
Mhm.
teaching women about building podcasts. But she will be talking about the fortune and the follow up. We're
Mhm.
doing all this network. We're meeting all these people. Now what? How do you maximize on the network that you just created, because your net worth determines your net worth.
Net
And so
worth.
we're going to close it out on Saturday afternoon with the full-fledged vision board activity. Let me tell you something. Vision boards really our teachers. Remember how when you were younger, parents come to pick up report cards and there was a picture on the wall. Oh, this is what your baby drew when this is what they want to be when they grow up. That
Yes,
really was vision casting,
it sure
right?
was.
But our
Sure
teachers
was.
didn't move it forward. If
Right.
they had moved it forward from year to year,
Ooh,
it might have changed. But if we had kept it going, by the time our kids got to high school, they wouldn't be undeclared. By the time they got to college, they wouldn't be undeclared. They would
I
know I
agree.
need to study math. I need to study science. I need to study this
Right.
particular
They would have had
training.
a
And I'm
roadmap.
not spending 2 years in college trying to figure it out. We would have
Mhm.
known. So that's what vision casting will be done on Saturday night. And then we're going to close it out with our very own karaoke party. So
Oh, that's
it's
gonna be
a
awesome.
full activity of events. The website will be updated to include more information about our speakers, but you definitely get a rundown of what's available. Dr. Lisa, listen, as you
Mhm.
know, putting on events,
Oh my gosh,
putting on
yes.
events, I'm just going to say it like that. We
Yes,
have made this not only affordable, but you can
Mhm.
also go right to the website and split your payments in half because I want you to
Yes,
be in the room. I want you to grab your closest 2, 3, 4, 5, 12 girlfriends and
and
come
come
into
on down
Plano,
to them.
Texas to the Sandman
Yes,
Signature Hotel. This is
yes.
going to be the funnest, and I do mean the funnest weekend. I would rather, there's no other way I'd rather start my
What a
January.
way to start 2026, exactly.
That's it.
After everything we
That's
did in
it.
2025, we need a reset, a reboot
That's it.
at this retreat.
That's it. That's it. Because we
Yes.
will be walking away with clarity, confidence, and control.
Clarity,
Control.
confidence.
Yeah,
Mm,
now I
mm,
got a
mm, mm,
lot.
mm, mm.
Listen, we gonna have some
Control.
karaoke, so somebody gonna come and sing.
Listen, I'm about
Control.
to
Yeah.
belt up. I'm gonna be out here singing, I believe.
Goodness,
I'm
I
gonna get your
cannot
shit
wait.
together.
That's
Come on.
right. That's it. Come on now.
I'm gonna have
Get
to
your
write my
keep
own song.
it.
Listen, it's going to be fun. As you guys can see, we get super excited about this event. I know I am thrilled. I know I get to speak. I am honored to speak at this event and have the VIP session. But as just a woman, I am excited to be a part of what your vision is and what you do in this event, and really just going through the process and learning and growing with a team of women that are passionate about creating wealth in their life and really creating abundance, not just for us and ourselves, but for generations to come. So, sis, listen,
Absolutely.
it's a
Yes.
powerful time for you to reclaim your crown and strengthen up by being strong and putting more fuel and reigniting yourself and your mindset to go and make it. The website again is thewealthywomanlifestyle.com/retreat. All of it will be in the description wherever you're listening to watching this. Dr. Nicole, everybody wants to know how else they can connect with you and what's your favorite way that you want them to connect with you.
Listen, I am a Facebooker and a LinkedIner, okay? So I've provided my links for that. But I do want to leave them with way that they can, and of course the new YouTube channel, the Nicole
Yes.
Johnson TV.
Yes.
We rebranded it, we rebranded the name. we wanted to get more in touch with me as far as pouring out to what you guys wanted. So, the
Yes.
Nicole Johnson TV, I'm really excited about the new format. You can
Mm-hmm.
catch us every Thursday night at 7. This and the channel for some time is going to be focused on budgeting for your lifestyle. Your
Don't want to
lifestyle
miss
has to
that.
have a budget, okay? But once
Yes.
you change the budget, you can change the lifestyle. They
Mm-hmm.
go hand in hand. So I want to leave them with what I call the foundation of structure. And that is what I
Mm.
call a bill pay worksheet. Listen,
Mm.
I've asked so many people, how many times a month do you sit down and pay bills? 5,
Come
6,
on.
7. And I'm
Yes.
like, that's exhausting when you only get paid twice a month or
Come
even
on
once.
now.
So
Wow.
your bill should be paid as many times as you get paid. If you
Come
get
on. How
paid
many
twice a
times?
month, that's how many times you should be paying bills. If you get paid once a month, that's how many times you should be paying bills. What's the
Gotcha.
psychology behind that? You
Okay.
download that worksheet and you'll get into the email so
Oh,
that you can
I
find
can't
out
wait.
how we
Yeah.
do that. Okay, because
Yes.
there's a
And that
method
link
to
will
the
be here
madness.
too.
There's a
Yes.
method to the madness. So in the show notes, I'm sure she's going to share with you how to download
Absolutely.
the bill pay worksheet. The other
Absolutely.
gift I have for them is what I call the Savings Challenge Workbook. A lot of people
Oh,
think that they cannot save and pay off debt. It is an utmost requirement. You should be
must
paying
be.
into your savings like you
Yeah.
pay into your bills. Every time
Yes.
you get paid, you should pay into your savings. And so every Friday, we do something called Dump Your Change. You know,
Dump
we break a
your
dollar bill, a $20 bill, that change settles at the bottom of our
Stop
purse.
giving it to the drive people at the drive-thru. They said, "Would you like to make a donation?" They'll tell them no.
No, make a donation to yourself and
Come
put it
on.
in a
Just
jar. Put it
don't
in a
even let me
jar
know that.
because over
Put it in a jar.
time, that change can change your life, right? I had a
Come
client
on.
who did it for 3 years. Her son got sick. They
Mm,
preserved her job, but she did not get paid sick leave. That change
mm.
paid her bills for 3 months because
Wow.
consistently doing it. Okay. So we
Wow.
do that every Friday without fail. Dump your change. And
Mm,
then the Savings Challenge workbook gives them 12 different fun activities and ways to save. Don't get stuck in the
wow.
mundane.
Yeah.
Make it fun. And when it's fun, you're more than likely to stick to it.
Oh, I absolutely love it. All of this will be again in the description wherever you're watching or listening to the podcast. And don't forget to get over and give a subscribe to Dr. Nicole's YouTube channel. She does have a podcast, and you'll see that there. It's at the Nicole Johnson TV. Also here in the description wherever you're watching. And let her know. Reach out to her on LinkedIn and Facebook. We have this here. She has a vibrant community that's growing rapidly as well. I don't know what the criteria is, Dr. Nicole, but you can also join her there if you send her a request. We'll have the link to the Facebook group as well. Wherever you're listening, watching to this, listen. Dr. Nicole and I, we would stay here all day. She'll definitely be back. But thank you so much, Dr. Nicole, for pouring into our listeners and viewers. And we want to see you in Texas at the Wealthy Women Lifestyle. Join me there. Join us there. And let's get in the tribe. Get all the freebies. I will be getting the freebies and working through it. And then next time she comes back, we're going to talk a little bit more behind the progress and the stuff, the fun things that we do and that I've grown into with what she has provided. Remember, sis, prosperity begins with your mindset. Think, speak, do, become. I am Dr. Alisa Whyte, your number one mindset disruptor, with my co-host, the Nicole Johnson, saying we will see you all the next time. We'll see you in Texas, actually.
That's see you in Texas.
Everything is bigger in Texas. Bye now.